Welcome back to our channel, where the glamorous world of Los Angeles fashion is always just one scandal away from a total and absolute collapse. Today is a magnificent day to dive deep into the latest shocking twists and turns on the bold and the beautiful as the corporate warfare reaches a terrifying new level of destruction. The landscape of Los Angeles fashion is about to experience a seismic shift of epic proportions, a catastrophic event that absolutely no one could have predicted. Just when the dust seemed to be settling from Hope Logan Spencer's devastating defection to Logan Creations, another massive betrayal is brewing within the hallowed, luxurious halls of Forrester Creations. The corporate and personal blood feuds between the Forrester and Spencer families have reached an unprecedented, volcanic boiling point. This time, the casualty is not merely a business contract or a PR campaign, but the very heart of the Forrester family legacy. Electra Forrester, the brilliantly talented jewelry designer who recently severed all ties with Will Spencer following a horrifyingly violent altercation, is about to make a calculated move that will irrevocably change the trajectory of both fashion houses forever. To fully comprehend the sheer magnitude of this impending explosion, we must look back at the recent chaos that has completely engulfed these legacy characters. The simmering tension between Will Spencer and R.J. Forrester recently culminated in a terrifying physical brawl at the Bikini Bar. During that chaotic, adrenaline-fueled struggle, RJ intentionally ducked, causing Will's fist to accidentally strike the Forrester patriarch, Eric Forrester. The sickening blow left Eric with a severe black eye and shattered the fragile illusion of family unity. Electra, utterly horrified by the violence and deeply manipulated by RJ's carefully crafted victim narrative, made the agonizing decision to end her relationship with Will. She packed her bags, moved out of the beach house, and seemingly turned her back on the Spencer heir for all of eternity. Ridge Forrester, acting with breathtaking hypocrisy given his own recent physical assault on Bill Spencer, cornered Electra with a brutal, uncompromising ultimatum: sever all ties with Will immediately or risk her entire career and standing within the Forrester family empire. However, the human heart is a beautifully complex and rebellious entity, and Electra's profound love for Will Spencer was never truly extinguished by the chaos. In the quiet, suffocating solitude of her new reality at the Forrester mansion, away from the intoxicating influence of Will but entirely trapped by the overbearing, dictatorial demands of Ridge and the calculating, opportunistic presence of RJ, Electra began to see the ugly cracks in the Forrester facade. She slowly realized that she was being used as a pawn in a toxic corporate blood feud that had absolutely nothing to do with her own personal happiness. The chilling realization that Ridge was projecting his own highly dysfunctional relationship history onto her, while demanding absolute, unquestioning obedience, sparked a fierce and unstoppable rebellion within her soul. Electra recognized that her loyalty to a family that would so easily use her as collateral damage was actively destroying her only chance at true, unconditional love. Driven by an overwhelming, desperate need to prove her unwavering loyalty and profound love for Will, Electra formulates a master plan so daring, so destructive, and so brilliant that it will leave the entire fashion world breathless. She knows that mere words and tearful apologies will never be enough to bridge the massive chasm that has opened between them, especially after she abandoned him in his darkest, most vulnerable hour. To definitively demonstrate that she chooses Will over the toxic, suffocating legacy of her family, Electra executes a bold, highly calculated maneuver. In the dead of night, moving like a phantom through the silent design studios, she meticulously gathers every single one of her exclusive jewelry designs. The intricate blueprints, the proprietary concepts, and the digital CAD models that were slated to be the next flagship product line for Forrester Creations. These are not just simple sketches, They represent millions of dollars in projected revenue, the future of the Forrester jewelry division, and the financial anchor the company desperately needs. With her life's work and the company's future securely in her possession, Electra Forrester walks out of the Forrester Creations building, leaving behind the towering legacy of her grandfather and the crushing expectations of her uncle. She marches directly into the gleaming, ultra-modern executive offices of Logan Creations, a rising sanctuary built on the ashes of Forrester's recent failures. The visual of a Forrester heir crossing enemy lines, carrying the literal blueprints of their rival's financial future in her hands, is a poetic and devastatingly fatal blow. When Electra presents her exclusive, highly coveted designs to Katie Logan and Bill Spencer, offering them the full, unadulterated rights to produce and market her entire collection under the Logan umbrella, the room falls into a stunned, electric silence. She is not just asking for a job or a safe haven. She is handing them the ultimate nuclear weapon to completely decimate Forrester Creations once and for all. The true emotional climax of this breathtaking corporate espionage occurs when Electra finally comes face to face with Will Spencer. Will has been spiraling into a dark, agonizing depression, heavily intoxicated and dangerously manipulated by the opportunistic Melissa Dillon, while being crushed by the immense weight of his own guilt. When he sees Electra standing in the Logan offices, holding her life's work as a grand offering of peace and unwavering loyalty, the dark despair in his eyes shatters into absolute, blinding euphoria. This is the grand, cinematic, romantic gesture he never dared to hope for in his wildest dreams. Electra's defection is the ultimate, undeniable proof that she believes in him, that she forgives him for the catastrophic chaos at the bikini bar, and that she is willing to sacrifice everything she has ever known just to stand by his side. Their reunion is a passionate, tear-filled collision of two desperate souls who have finally chosen each other over the endless, toxic warfare of their warring families. Back at Forrester Creations, the horrifying discovery of Electra's defection triggers a volcanic eruption of fury that makes all previous family conflicts pale in comparison. When Ridge Forrester learns that Electra has not only reunited with the man who assaulted his father, but has also maliciously stolen the entire exclusive jewelry line, his rage is truly apocalyptic. Ridge views this as the ultimate, unforgivable betrayal, a jagged knife twisted deep into the back of the family that nurtured her. He loudly and violently proclaims that this is the worst, most devastating backstabbing the company has suffered since Hope Logan Spencer's catastrophic departure. For Ridge, Electra's actions are not just a staggering business loss. They are a profound moral failure and a direct, calculated insult to the Forrester name. He screams through the executive offices, smashing objects and vowing to legally and financially destroy Logan Creations and anyone associated with this heinous theft. While Ridge responds with explosive, unhinged anger, Eric Forrester's reaction is one of crushing, profound disappointment that cuts straight to the bone. The Forrester patriarch, still physically recovering from the brutal wounds of the recent brawl and emotionally exhausted by the endless family infighting, is shattered by the realization that his own granddaughter would betray him so callously. Eric has always prided himself on family loyalty, often demanding it at the severe expense of personal happiness and individual freedom. To see Electra walk away, taking a flagship product line to the very people who are actively trying to destroy his legacy, breaks Eric's heart in a way that physical violence never could. The heavy, suffocating silence that falls over Eric as he processes the devastating news is deafening, signaling a deep, perhaps entirely irreparable fracture within the very core of the Forrester family unit. The betrayal stings absolutely no one quite as sharply and bitterly as R.J. Forrester. R.J. had expertly capitalized on the chaotic fallout from the bikini bar brawl, manipulating Electra's emotional vulnerability to position himself as her ultimate savior and perfect romantic partner. He smugly believed he had finally, definitively won the bitter battle against his rival, Will Spencer, to discover that Electra merely used him as a temporary, convenient refuge before running straight back into Will's arms with the keys to the Forrester kingdom fills RJ with a bitter, toxic, and all-consuming contempt. He views Electra not just as a traitor to the company, but as a manipulative, cold-hearted liar who callously played with his deepest emotions. RJ's disgust is palpable, and his previous affection for Electra instantly curdles into a dark, vindictive hatred that promises to fuel the ongoing, violent rivalry with Will for years to come. The economic ramifications of Electra's shocking defection for Forrester Creations cannot be overstated. They are nothing short of catastrophic. The legendary fashion house was already reeling from the devastating loss of the highly profitable hope for the future brand and the subsequent, humiliating PR nightmare that completely overshadowed Eric's highly anticipated haute couture return. Electra's exclusive, diamond-heavy jewelry line was supposed to be the financial anchor that stabilized the company's plummeting stock prices and restored fractured investor confidence. By taking those proprietary designs directly to Logan Creations, Electra has essentially stripped Forrester of its most lucrative upcoming revenue stream. The loss of this flagship product line is a devastating economic blow that threatens to force Forrester Creations into unprecedented financial distress, while simultaneously catapulting Logan Creations into the untouchable stratosphere of the global fashion industry. In immediate response to this existential, company-ending threat, Forrester Creations unleashes the full, terrifying force of its legal department. Ridge Forrester, working closely alongside the company's top legal mind, Carter Walton, immediately drafts a relentless barrage of intellectual property lawsuits aimed directly at Electra and the executive board of Logan Creations. They vehemently argue that the jewelry designs were created while Electra was under a strict, ironclad contract and utilizing exclusive Forrester resources, making them the sole, indisputable property of Forrester Creations. The legal war that erupts is brutal, uncompromising, and highly publicized across every major fashion outlet. Massive injunctions are filed, aggressive cease and desist orders are delivered by process servers, and the high-stakes battle over who truly owns the rights to the jewelry line becomes the most sensational, cutthroat legal drama in the history of Los Angeles fashion. Despite the euphoric, deeply passionate reunion with Will, Electra quickly finds herself backed into a terrifying emotional and legal corner. The harsh reality of being aggressively sued by her own grandfather and uncle is a heavy, suffocating burden that threatens to crush her spirit. She is violently torn between the intoxicating, all-consuming love she shares with Will and the crushing, agonizing guilt of actively participating in the potential financial destruction of her family's empire. Every dense, threatening legal document she receives is a stark reminder of the bridges she has burned to ash. Electra must navigate the treacherous, exhausting waters of hostile depositions and bitter courtroom battles, constantly questioning whether the ultimate price of her freedom and her love was simply too high. The severe psychological toll of facing her own flesh and blood from the opposite side of a cold courtroom aisle pushes her dangerously close to the brink of a total mental breakdown. Fortunately for Electra, she is now fiercely protected by the most ruthless, predatory corporate shark in all of Los Angeles. Bill Spencer views the barrage of intellectual property lawsuits not as a legitimate threat, but as an exhilarating, highly entertaining challenge. He immediately deploys his own massive army of high-powered, cutthroat attorneys to defend Electra and permanently secure the rights to the designs for Logan Creations. Bill absolutely relishes the golden opportunity to publicly humiliate Ridge Forrester in a court of law, aggressively arguing that Electra's designs are her own intellectual property, and that Forrester's restrictive, outdated contracts are entirely unenforceable. Bill's aggressive, take-no-prisoners approach provides a titanium shield for Electra, but it also escalates the hostility between the two warring families to a level of pure, unadulterated venom. Amidst the absolute chaos of the corporate and legal warfare, the personal fallout for Melissa Dillon is nothing short of catastrophic. Dillon had meticulously calculated her every move, taking full advantage of Will's drunken vulnerability to orchestrate a romantic rebound that would permanently secure her elevated position within the wealthy Spencer family. Electra's dramatic return and grand, undeniable gesture of loyalty completely obliterate Dillon's carefully laid, manipulative plans. Will's immediate and total devotion to Electra leaves Dillon entirely out in the cold, exposing her manipulative, gold-digging tactics for what they truly are. Dillon is forced to watch bitterly from the sidelines as the man she tried to trap pledges his eternal, unwavering loyalty to the woman who just sacrificed her entire family for him. Her lofty ambitions are shattered into a million pieces, leaving her to plot a new, significantly darker path to relevance and revenge. Katie Logan Spencer, meanwhile, orchestrates the seamless integration of Electra's jewelry line into the Logan brand with masterful, awe-inspiring precision. While she is deeply concerned about the intense, vicious legal battle and the profound emotional strain it places on her son, Will, Katie recognizes the unprecedented, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity before her. By perfectly pairing Hope's revolutionary, highly popular fashion designs with Electra's exclusive, high-end diamond jewelry, Logan Creations is poised to become an unstoppable, dominant monopoly in the luxury market. Katie works tirelessly to support Electra, providing her with the absolute creative freedom and unwavering emotional backing that Forrester Creations always denied her. Katie's strategic brilliance ensures that the upcoming launch of the new jewelry line will be a massive media spectacle that completely eclipses the ongoing, bitter legal drama. The explosive, high-stakes legal battle over the intellectual property pushes Will and Electra's relationship into the ultimate, unforgiving crucible. Will is forced to watch helplessly as the woman he loves endures relentless, punishing legal attacks from her own flesh and blood. He becomes her fiercely protective anchor, promising to stand by her side through every grueling deposition, every tense courtroom appearance, and every tearful, anxiety-ridden night. Their love is no longer just a simple romantic entanglement. It is a forged, unbreakable alliance against the rest of the world. The intense adversity they face only serves to strengthen their profound bond, proving definitively that Electra's bold defection was not a foolish mistake, but the necessary, painful catalyst for their true, everlasting devotion. As the massive lawsuits proceed through the courts and the rival fashion lines prepare to launch their respective campaigns, the entire landscape of the bold and the beautiful is forever, irreversibly altered. The Forrester family is fractured beyond repair, bleeding top-tier talent and massive revenue, while the Spencer and Logan alliance grows terrifyingly powerful and dominant. Electra's shocking decision to bring her exclusive designs to Logan Creations will be remembered as the definitive, fatal strike in the great corporate war. She has proven her absolute loyalty to Will Spencer in the most spectacular, destructive way possible, setting the stage for a dramatic future where love, loyalty, and ruthless business are inextricably, dangerously intertwined. The battle lines are drawn in permanent ink and bad blood, and there is absolutely no turning back for anyone involved in this epic saga.